Hello learners, welcome to our next visual learning for the day. I hope you are all doing well. Today we have integrated science for basic 6 and we are still on cycles. That is our strand, and our substrand is life cycle of maize plants. And before then, let us look at our learning objective for the day, which says by the end of the day, we should be able to demonstrate the life cycle of maize. Demonstrate the life cycle of maize, right? And then now let us look at our few certains here, which we have for the day. And then the one is seed. We have seedling, we have mature plants, we have germination, we have embryo, we have annual plants, and then viable seed. Now, I want to start with maize plants. In our previous lesson, we've learned what we call okra plants. And we talk about the various stages in which they grow of their life cycle. And I said that as long as all living things are concerned, the first thing is that every living thing needs to grow from one stage to another. So it is with plants also. So today we want to consider maize plants or corn plants. And we say corn plant begin with a seed. Every plant most plants grow from seed. And then from there, they move on to what we call seedling or baby plants. And then finally they become a mature plant or adult plants. Now, I want to talk about maize plants. We know that we all know what maize is. Sometimes we enjoy it. Sometimes we do have a lot of varieties from maize, which is porridge, kenkey, and so forth. Now, we want to know how how it germinates, or the cycle of maize to the end. Now, the first thing is that we want to look at what is called annual plants. Maize is an example of annual plants. So what are annual plants? So we say annual plants are plants which completes their entire life cycle in 1 year. So annual plants are plants which completes their entire life cycle in 1 year. So let us look at examples of annual plants. And we say maize is an annual plant, followed by okra, and then we have watermelon, and then common wheats. Now we all have this in. All of them they have seeds. We have this one. Now, what is a seed? As I said earlier in our previous lesson, is that a seed is a small tiny plant which is called the embryo, which is found inside the seed. Now, I want to talk about the seed aspect. Now, in the life cycle of every plant, for example, maize plants, we have 3 stages. We have the seed, we have the seedling, or the baby plant, and then the adult plant. Now, for every seed to do well, the first thing is that it needs a certain condition for it to be able to do well. The first thing is we need a viable seed. A seed that doesn't spoil. That's what we call a viable seed. And we also need water, and we also need we need a very good temperature or sunlight. We need rainfall or water, and finally we need air. Now, a seed needs water, a seed needs sunlight, a seed needs air and water to be able to do well. Now, so the development of seedling out of seed is what we call germination. Now, remember, for a seed to develop into seedling, it first of all needs to germinate into seedling or baby plant. Now, when it's germinates from seedling into baby plant, what happens is that at this stage, the baby plant also needs certain conditions as sunlight, rainfall, water, or air to be able to germinate or do well. Now, the baby plants here, as also called young plants, at this stage, what it needs is what? It uses the stored food in the seed leaf for it to be able to carry on its life activities. Now, as time goes on, the baby plant will also depend on its own food. It's what we call photosynthesis. So, as time goes on, the baby plants will what? Develop into what we call adult plants, which we see maize. We see it begin to make what? Fruits. Then we realize that finally, at the final stage, it becomes what? Mature or ripe. Then we can go for it. So these are the stages. Now, aside this, every seed needs one condition, as I said earlier. So we want to look at the conditions necessary for maize plants to germinate. So first of all is what? Viable seeds. Every seed has to be good for it to what? To germinate. That is what we call viable seeds. We also need what? Every seed needs what? Sunlight. I told you in photosynthesis that the condition that are necessary for photosynthesis is what? One is what? Carbon dioxide. The one is what? Sunlight and what? Water. And we said what? The plant trap what? Sunlight, which is called what? Energy from the sun for it to be able to carry its what? Life activities. And then water, rainfall, which falls what? And goes down to the deep roots of the plant so that the plant can carry it from the root to the stem and to the leaf plants for the plant to be able to do well. And the last one is what? Air. Every living thing needs air. And plants are also living things. So they need air to be able to do well. I hope you understand today's lesson. Now, hope to see you next time. See you. Bye-bye.